Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with another real-time Snowflake challenge and a question that often comes into the interviews. Recently, one of my students appeared for KPMG interview and they asked him to load Excel file directly into the Snowflake. And that too, you do not need to use any external tool, no ETL tool you have to use. But the problem is Snowflake does not support Excel file. So the question is, how are we gonna do this? And don't worry, we are not going to use any third party tool for this. So I have made this problem even more exciting by adding a full logging table also. So imagine if you have multiple files or multiple sheets and this pipeline we want make it to the production ready with robust error logging and schema detection. So whenever we are going to perform these activities, nothing slip through. Here is the thing. This is no longer rare. Interviewers today are not just testing your Snowflake basics, but they want to see how you solve real engineering challenges using Snowflake or using Snowpark. So in this video, I'll show you exactly step by step how you can use a single Python stored procedures and we gonna solve this problem. So stick around till the end. And if you are data engineer or preparing for a Snowflake interview, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So what we're going to do in this step by step. The very first thing will be required is to have an Excel file. And that Excel file, we will be first loading into a stage. I'm going to use an internal namespace, but if you have that file in your S3, then you can create, then you can configure using a storage integration and you can create external stage. If you want, then I can replicate that exercises too, but I have already shown you how to connect AWS, Azure, or GCS with the Snowflake, so I'm going to skip that part. Once the data into the stage, after that, we will be creating a error logging tables. Why? Because we need to log each and everything like which file have been loaded, when it got loaded, how many recorded loaded, or what if there any error, then what was the error. After that, I'm going to write us that stored procedure, which is going to do all the heavy lifting, like picking the Excel file from the stage, reading that file from the stage, and then converting that like that Pandas data frame to Snowpark data frame so that we can save it as a tables and then can do all the loggings. Okay. And optionally, you can wrap up that into a task. What if that you have this activity needs to be performed every day? So we can wrap that stored procedure in a task, which again, I have already described that how you can schedule the things with the task in my separate video. Like you can check it into the Snowflake Zero to Hero series. Okay, so let's just jump into it and we are going to see one by one. So the very first step is that we will be creating a stage. Okay, and here I'm going to use a stage called Excel data. Let me just do that, create or replace stage Excel data. Now if I'm going to write list Excel data, they won't be any file. Okay, so let me just load this file, load this like any random file into this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going and I'm doing it with the UI. Now, do not get confused because when I say that UI, we cannot load the Excel file with the help of UI. That I was talking about loading into a table. But here we are just putting that file into the stage. So I'll click into the load file into the stage. We go into the sample data. I pick the customers. And one more time, let me actually show you one more thing. If I'm going to browse it, I am not using CSV. I choose this Excel worksheet. So I opened it. Now, in which database I wanted to select, let's say practice, here the public, and the stage is going to be the Excel data. Now I'm going to upload that file and you can see this one file uploaded. I'll go back to my worksheet and then let me list this Excel data. Some of you might be having it that, okay, if the file is already there, can't we query it like we do it the normal CSV file? Okay, let's just see that. So if I'm going to do it, I'm sure I have written this. So if you're going to write select $1, $2, or something like that, you won't be seeing anything. This is invalid UTF-8 detected in string and all. So nothing comes up. And if you will try to load this data into table, obviously you won't be getting anything. Because if we're going to load any CSV file and when we run this query, we get some output. Now, the next step is we will be creating a log table. And this step I'm creating, like, so I have marked as step one, step two, step three is before writing the procedures. In the procedure also, I have mentioned the step by step so that it will be easy for you to understand what we have done. Now I'm going to create an Excel load log ID, which is going to be identity column. And I have used order because I'm sure you must be knowing it, that why I have written it. If not, then put it into the comment and I'll reply you. Then we have file name, target table, status, error message, row count, and this is going to be default current timestamp. If you wanted to load something else, wanted to capture those things, you can add it over here. Okay, now this file name and target table, I will be keeping as input parameters, means I will be passing into the stored procedure. Okay, so the high level process in the stored procedure, what we're gonna do is that we will call the procedure with the file name. So we will be passing that which is the file name we wanted to load, and the target table name. So it will be copying that Excel file from the stage into the procedure's temporary sandbox first. Okay. Now, this is basically comes later, but before that, we're gonna create a procedure. So, and this I wanted to write it to the Python. So I am going to write that step one, which is a normal syntax. Means this is just a procedures. Load Excel to tables. You can write anything. Let's say load Excel file to table. Okay, anything we can write it. Load Excel file to table or load Excel files, anything we can write. Let's say load Excel files. This file name I am keeping because what if your stays have multiple files and you particularly want to load that file? That we're gonna use it over here. Then in which like what is the target table you wanted to create? And I want the table needs to be created by this procedure itself. I do not want it to load or wanted to do the copy into command. I just want that every time I'm running this procedure, that table needs to be created. That you can control again. You have an options that whether you wanted to override the table or append it table. These are so many of functionality which you can use and you can explore to educate yourself. Then I'm going to use this. They're going to obviously return a string because I wanted to return whether this successfully inserted or error failure. I'm going to use a Python. The runtime version, you have to use 3.9 because the 3.8 is not supported now. And the packages, I will be writing this Snowpark, Pandas, and OpenPy Excel. This is required to read that Excel file here. We have to write, we have to use, this is must. Okay, so I just mentioned that this is normal syntax to mention required packages and Python version. After that, we are going to import pandas and then from Snowflake, Snowpark to Snowpark sessions. And here, first thing, because you might remember, if I'm going to write any Python worksheet, let me just show you any Python worksheet into the Snowflake that would be requiring this def main function. This is required. The Snowpark package is required. Here you can say this package, this def function, this is the code required to run. The Snowpark package is required for Python worksheet. You have to require this, or you might be like this. Your code goes here inside the main handler. So I have used the same def main. I have used the sessions, which is going to take the active session of this current worksheet. A file name we have already passing from there. The target table, which going to take it there. Now, this stage will be having a file. So list, if I do the list stage, so I need the file from here. It gonna fetch this file. If you want to make it automated, yes, you can do that also using a directory table and using some stage metadata file name column. That also you can do. Okay, but I just wanted to make it not that advanced so that you can easily understand. Here what I'm gonna do is it gonna take that Excel data stays, this stays from this stays. I am going to take that file, and that file we will be passing manually, so it will return the file path here, and then that file we are downloading into the temporary. Why? Because this Python library, like Python libraries like Pandas, need a real file path. Okay, so that's why this temporary file path will be into that procedures only, and then we will be utilizing that path to create a Pandas data frame. Okay, I'm sure that you would be getting it. Okay, now after this, we are going to create Pandas data frame to read that Excel file. So first we put the file from here, that file path, like this is the file path. That file path is going to keep into this temporary location. So it is going to be this, going to be the path. And then we do have the read Excel. I'm sure if you have an idea of pandas, then we do have read CSV, read Excel functions where I'm just passing this path. We do have some parameters here, and that also you can pass. Like what if you do have some like there is one Excel sheet which has multiple tabs or multiple sheets, and you wanted to utilize that, so you can use those parameters. That is totally up to you how you wanted to do it. So again, like your scenarios, and you can just change that accordingly. Okay. So I hope this till this it makes sense. Now, if you have any of the data type issues, what if you wanted to convert or adjust the data type of that file? Then here you can change it with the help of as type and all something. So you can like adjust over here just after this step. Okay. Now, we need to convert this panda object to a snowflake, like we need to convert this pandas data frame to a snowpark data frame. Why? Because otherwise Snowflake won't be able to utilize that. That needs to be come into this Snowflake sessions. So converting this pandas data frame to Snowpark data frame, as at this point, this data exists only into the memory, and for that we need to have this data into the Snowflake. That's why I am just going to convert this data frame and referring this DF. So this is DF from pandas DF. You can maybe like call it as a panda DF, something, anything you can call it. So this is DF, but here I'm creating a snow DF, which is going to be a snowpark DF. I'm calling it a panda DF maybe so that you guys can understand better. Okay, after this, once we are going to convert, then the data is into the Snowflake Snowpark data frame, and then we are going to use the write functions, write, and then we will be taking as a table. So write that data frame to Snowflake table. So we just understand this step by step. The very first step, we're gonna open that, like we're gonna have that file. We're gonna put that file into a temporary location so that Panda can read it. Pandas will be like Panda will be reading it and will be storing into the data frames. And immediately we're gonna convert that data frame into the Snowpark data frame. Why? Because otherwise the data will be into the in like in memory only, and that into the Python environment only, but we need into the Snowflake memory or Snowflake environment. So we converted it, and then we are going to save that as a table. Now you see this is a mode override, or what if this is your staging table? So you can store like a table type as a transient, table type as a temporary, you can store that. This is totally up to you. So you're going to store that data into the tables, and that table you are passing target table, means whatever the table name you are going to pass in your Snowflake procedure at the time of calling it, that table will be created. Okay, now we need to know how many record have been loaded. So yes, we do have simple the length function of the data frame, and that length function we're gonna use it. Sorry, my bad. My this one we will be using a panda df to calculate it. So row count, it's equal to how much of the length of that. And then it will be logging the status for the sessions, the file name, the target table, which it will be success. And this is the error code, which is none, and the row count. So, I mean, if you will look at it from here, so it's gonna give you that, okay, whatever this file name, target table status and all that, we're going to pass it over here. And it will be returning these many rows into table loaded successfully. You can alter this, you can you can change this message up to you. If there is any error into the into the loading or into capturing that data, probably let's say some data type mismatch or any error something, what if the stage is not there? So I will be like trying to recreate one error, so to show you that whether it is capturing if there is any file name is not matching, if the stage is not stage is missing over there, or what if some permission issues there, then it will capture, like then it is going to log the error also, and there will be some error, so which will be loading from this. So we're gonna take this error. Okay, now there is one more, like what if this is not failure during the reading and writing? There might be like on top, top level failure. So if there will be a top level failure, that to also be recorded. And here you see this is something I can make it maybe like 1500. So I just wanted up to the till 1500 character, 2000 characters. So you can just slice that if you need it. Otherwise you can remove it, and that is totally again up to you. And this one, till this point we are going to get the data, and this is where, so what it's gonna do, first it will be taking the file, then going to convert file path into a local file path, means a temporary file locations, because otherwise Panda won't be able to read that. And then the Panda will be reading that file, we will be converting into a data frame, then Snowpark data frame. So like that we are going to change it. Once it is done, then we will be logging that into this excel load logs. This is the table I created, excel load logs. That again you can name it anything, and I will be loading all these things. So this is one, the insert statement I wanted to execute, and here this is session.sql insert statement dot collect. Okay, so if there is any error, it is going to give you this error, which is going to be like it's whatever the exception is going to be collected from there. So I'm sure you have understood. I tried to explain, but again, if you are not that comfortable with Python, then you may be going through one by one. And this code may not be like that big, but I have added a comment in every section so that you can understand that in which step what we are doing. So this is why it is around like 40-50 lines. Otherwise, it could have been a bit small. Okay, so now we are going to create these procedures. So one by one, we have already explained it. So let me just run this stored procedure, which will be helping us to load the data. So let's see. Okay, so the function this load Excel file successfully created. Now copy this, because we will be calling it. So the very first thing is, we remember that here in the list Excel data, which file is this? Customers.xlsx. And here we are passing the file name and the target table. So the file name will be customer.xlx, and the target table something by your name. I mean anything by your name. So let me call it over here. There, I'm gonna call it the customers.xlx. This is the file names and the customer data. So let me run it now. When I'm gonna run it, let me see that there should be one customer data. Okay, now you see 500 rows into table customer data loaded successfully. And from where this message is coming? From here, the row count rows into the target table loaded successfully. Okay, now the second, do we have any information into the error load also? So let me pick the select star from customer data. Yes, I can see there is 500 record, which is correct. Let me pick select star from Excel logs. Okay. Okay. I guess I need to recreate this because I might have created. So let me just recreate one more time, like create now. And then let me run this procedure so that you will be having a complete understanding. Okay. Let's just look at it. So there is ID 1, this is file, the target table, status is success, how many record? 500. Now let me try with some error, any error, like probably if this gonna capture. What if we're gonna change the, this one, Excel data S. I'm just changing the stage name. Okay, and I am recreating this procedure with some error. This is although the code error, will it be captured? Let's see that. If I run it again, this procedures could not execute. So we got this error. The stage does not exist. Is it there? Yes. So we got the status has failed. What is the error? We got that error that stage does not exist. I mean, because this is gonna give each and everything. I mean, but we can store the uh, entire error message also. But we understand that this error is basically returned that the stage does not exist. Now, what if I try I guess this is done. Yeah. So maybe we can just simply remove it, recreate this procedures. But this time, let me try if the file with the different file. So I'm trying with a different file. This should also give an error that file getting the file, that file does not exist. And the select star from Excel load. Yes, we got it this file. Okay, so probably you can work more into it so that it is going to capture only that particular message rather than getting that complete this trace back. So you can just simply remove that trace back here, what I'm gonna use over here, and that can take a proper log error failure, or otherwise you can remove this truncations because I'm just taking 1500 characters. If you're gonna remove it, you will be getting a complete error message. So you can just play around with that to get more thing like to get it done the more things, and then in the end you can wrap these procedures with a task, and that you can schedule, so your pipeline will be created. And after that you can do some of your transformations. You can probably use dynamic table for that, for automated transformations, or you can create another task to schedule it. So there you might be creating another stored procedures to implement some of your exercises, or to create a view so that it is going to capture it, or like do anything. But before wrapping up, I just wanted to highlight 2 or 3 points so that you can discuss during the interview. What if your Excel files has multiple sheets? Then we have to do this sheet name equal to null, and then you need to loop through with the each sheets. Right now we just use this one pd.read Excel. We did not apply any other parameters. Second, if you need exact column type and converted column in Pandas before creating the Snowpark DF, then you can use this as type, and means you can just do this transformations over there. Now the last one, this is basically my assumptions. Probably you can comment. If you have a larger file, then prefer converting that into the CSV and then perform a copy into command for better performance. So that's it for today. I hope you have learned and you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions related to it, or you want me to cover any other scenarios, you can ask me, or you can just ping me. Okay. Thank you so much.